Hey everyone, welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over this deck, Old Gypsy Fortune Telling Cards by Whitman Publishing. This deck is from 1937, so it predates the other Whitman's decks that I've featured on my channel, such as the Old Gypsy Fortune Telling Cards. And, you know, they're very much like Lenormand cards. There's 36 in this deck, and also these ones here, they come in two different boxes, but they're the same cards. I'll just quickly show you. They are also from 1940, and they are basically exactly the same as these ones, just the artwork varies a little bit, like it's just a little bit more luxurious. But they're both, from my understanding, they're both from 1940. And for some reason, Whitman Publishing Company, you can see that right there, decided to print two different versions of the same cards. They're the same size and everything, just like I said, the artwork is a lot more luxurious looking, in my opinion. And here again, these cards here are exactly like the same as these ones. So they just, for some reason, put them in different boxes. Like this one is a very beautiful box in really, really good shape. And the instructions say 1940 in Roman numerals. So just like in this red box, because I would like at first glance, I would think that this was newer than 1940. This, just the condition and the sheen and everything. But apparently it's the same. And then there's numbers. Number 2993.29. And this is 25. So if you know what those numbers mean, if they're like production numbers or edition numbers, I'm not sure. Of course, the smaller box also has numbers, and it says 3013, which is ironically the same number as this 1937 deck, which is completely the cards are completely different. There's no relation. So yeah, it's very very peculiar. I don't know the answers, but they're all Whitman's fortune telling cards. And like this one is also called Old Gypsy, see? But they're very, very different, as you will see. Well, the backs, however, see, the backs are very similar. And the quality of the cards are very similar. There's no PVC coating on these cards. They're just very, very papery feeling. I like that, actually. But yeah, totally different cards, totally different way to read as well. There's only 32 cards in this deck as opposed to the 36 in the other deck, or the other decks. So they're not in order, but I'll do a flip through and then we'll go over the instructions, which are in really good shape, actually. So I had to pay a pretty penny for this deck. It's very rare. I haven't seen it that often, like not as often as the other Old Gypsy fortune telling cards by Whitman's that are like from 1940. So there's two different colors. There's the green and the orange. And then, of course, we have the diamonds, we have the acorns, the hearts, and the circles. So I'll go over that. Young man. So I think they took, whoever created this deck took inspiration from Lenormand, and also maybe they took their own liberties, and like there's the fish and you just saw the ring, right? I think they took their own liberties and created their own symbols. Like the hen and chicks almost reminds me of the Beline Oracle in a way. So it's possible they had access to that. I mean, this is totally American made, but there was in, you know, the early 1900s, A lot of inspiration from the German fortune-telling community in the States, and also probably there was some inspiration from the French fortune-telling. So it's hard to say. I don't know. I tried to look it up, but there's not a lot of information on this particular deck. When you do look it up, you often get information on these cards. So see, there's the stork, and it's actually number 17, just like in Lenormand. And then we have the armored knight. Now, you're probably wondering about the meanings of these cards, and it does go over it in this instruction manual, but it's more like in relation to the other cards. So it doesn't give a independent definition, really. It's almost like the method of distance in a way. If these cards, I think the orange ones are more negative than the green ones. And if they fall close to the sun card, which is the consultant card in this deck, then it's not as good or something. So I haven't had time to look it thoroughly over yet, but it's very interesting. Okay, so maybe because here we have the black cat, so that to me would be more of a bad luck card. So maybe I have that, the green is bad luck as opposed to the orange is good luck. I'm not sure. I'll have to look that over. And then we have the ship, the actors, so instead of the house card, we have the mansion, flowers, the moon, the lion. Now the sun, like I said, is the consultant card in this deck. And that's all 32 cards right there. They're in so good shape for being 85 years old, right? So here's the instructions. I really like how they give a little bit of intro into how divination works and talks about coincidences. The indications of coincidences are sometimes remarkable, and yet they seem so meaningless that we are likely to overlook them and disregard them entirely. For example, you wake up in the morning and as you reach for your toothbrush, you drop it. Thus, your day begins with what appears to be a meaningless mishap. But perhaps on the same day you will drop many things, a glass, your fountain pen, a fork at the table, or the like. Such coincidences are strongly indicative. At times they will tell good luck with great precision or foretell bad luck with tragic exactness. So, well, I guess, you know, that kind of explains how divination works, but not really. So then it tells you how to begin to tell a fortune, and there's like very strict methods in how to shuffle, which I never ever follow because I don't believe in that. So basically what you do is you put the sun card in the middle, and then you lay all 32 cards out, and you have a tableau looking like that. And then you read the cards surrounding the consultant card. And there's also like a zenith line and a lifeline. The vertical row of cards crossing the lifeline exactly in the middle is known as the zenith line. So here we have, I guess, the lifeline, and this is the zenith line. So then it gives you the meaning of the cards. So the sun, this is the key card representing the person whose fortune is being told. Just as everything in our solar system revolves around the sun, our Earth, the other planets, comets, stars, etc., all the indications of these old gypsy cards revolve around the key card, or the person whose fortune is being read. And then the lion. This card is of first importance when a man's fortune is being told. If the subject is a woman, this card reflects on the future of her husband, sweetheart, or son, or the male nearest and dearest to her. In the lifeline, it indicates great honor and influential position will be yours. In the zenith line, it indicates that you will have a long and happy life. If it is the last card topping the zenith line, it offsets any bad omen in the reading. So it's very, very complex. And I have not tried to work with these cards yet because I have just too many things that I'm trying to learn, and this is just going to make my brain short circuit. But it's really interesting and intricate, and I wonder why they discontinued this deck, because after 1937, I don't think they reprinted it at all, and they just went with the other ones that were closer to Lenormand. So yeah, all of the cards, it depends if they fall in the lifeline or in the zenith line, and it also depends on if they fall close to certain other cards. Like it is reminiscent of the near far method to me. And it's, someone obviously took a lot of time to create the system. And then it gives you an example reading. They call it a specimen reading. And it gives you the card numbers in this tableau, and then it goes over that. So let's see, the consultant card is in the middle, of course. The first indication is a good one for you. The card to the right of the key card, which is the sun card, in the lifeline is number 23. Because, yeah, this is the lifeline. This is the zenith line. The lucky hand. So that's the card with the hand with the cards, the playing cards. Indicating that with proper care, your business ventures will be profitable. If you are not going into business, disregard this card. The next card, number 28, the rooster, confirms this good omen, for it promises good luck to working people generally. However, you must take care because the next card is number 3, the moon, which suggests that your success in your business or work may bring unhappiness with it. See, that's not how I would read the moon card at all, because in Lenormand, it's talking about honor and recognition and, well, other things too, right? So yeah, this would totally derail me because, I would be looking at Lenormand meanings and then I'd be all confused. So I don't think I'm actually going to use this deck. It's just nice to have in the collection. And if you can find this, by all means grab it, because I haven't seen a lot of them on eBay in the past 2 years that I've been watching for this sort of thing. But I have seen a lot of these. So yeah, I don't think that there were many of these that were actually printed. And I don't know, it's just nice to have in the collection, and maybe one day I'll find a different use for them. I don't think I'll be using, because I am learning the method of distance in Petite Lenormand, and so because of that, I don't want to learn this and, derail myself. It's just too much information, too much contradictory information. But, maybe my brain will be flexible enough to consider both. I don't know. But yeah, this is just interesting, and it's just, it's fun to collect these decks and to think about who they belong to. And well, I don't think this one was particularly used a lot, as you can see, because it's in great shape, and it maybe would belong to a child, because these were, I think, marketed towards children too. And it's a funny story, because with this deck, there's actually a different version. And the only difference is, I want to find it here. I've talked about this in the flip through deck comparison video where I compared this deck with the more luxurious one. But anyways, this card here, the pig, they replaced this card with, it's identical except Lady Fortuna is not in there. They put a horseshoe instead, and I wondered about that, right? You can find both versions on eBay though, and I've almost bought the other version, but I really don't, you know, I'm happy with this one. And the reason they did that was because we have a naked lady, right? And I guess they thought that was a bit too controversial for children, so that's why they replaced her with the horseshoe. So you still have the pig and everything, number 8, but you just have a horseshoe. And as far as I know, that one is also from 1940, but I could be wrong. And that's my understanding of the story behind the horseshoe. So yeah, these were obviously marketed a little bit towards, maybe not small children, obviously, but like maybe teenage children, or I guess teenagers. And, but I think, you know, adults could use them as well, obviously, and adults do use them. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't ramble on too much, and I hope you have a great day, and let me know if you have any of these decks.